think my direction is a little different than most. I was never searching for what to do. I wanted to be a lawyer for a long time. And I always tell the story that my mother on repetitive occasions had said, you definitely should be a lawyer, son. And one of the incidents sticks out in my mind is when we were passing a school bus in the car and I was in the back seat and I said, Mom, the school bus probably had wooden seats back in your day and back in the day. And she said, absolutely, that's very deductive of you. You should be a lawyer. And it stuck with me as a youth. And I take that and apply it to my children all the time, allow them to be inquisitive about history and where things belong. So going to Western, I entered the criminal justice program. I utilized their minor to do sort of a pre-law. They didn't have a definitive pre-law, but it was a courts minor. So I finished that within about 2 years, and my advisor said, why don't you got to take something else, So I always loved writing, so chose English creative writing, and which has helped me tremendously through my career. It's one of the skills that I find lawyers are often lacking, is the ability to cogently write, to convince, and be creative. And the law has a lot of opportunities for creative insight. So I was ready to apply for law school by my junior year, and my uncle had been, he had known Justice Brennan, had worked with him, and went to U of D Law School with him, and he advocated for me going to Cooley because it was fairly new, and I love the idea. I love the idea of a practical education. In the creative mindset that I had, I wasn't looking for theoretical, insight or theoretical application of the law. I wanted to practice law. I wanted to be of service to people. Like my father was always an inspiration for that. As a dentist, I felt he helped people continually, and I wanted to do something similar. And so I gravitated to Cooley and enjoyed it from the first moment I had gotten there. Once I began school at Thomas M. Cooley, it was a drastic change from what my undergraduate program had been. The intensity of real-world operations and learning about how the world works was immediate. And there are many moments that stick out in my mind, from the first requirement of standing in front of the class with a microphone, being grilled on your previous night's assignments. You learned quickly to be prepared and to never want to be unprepared, and that has helped me out throughout my career. Having tremendous challenges. I admit I never was the best A+ student, and so when I found a course or a program that I wasn't comfortable with or actually feared, like tax law, I remember making the conscious decision to actually take those classes and to challenge myself. I honestly feel my law school experience at Thomas Cooley was enriched me with confidence. I believed in the practical education side of the program, and the skills I learned in the research and writing classes were immediately applicable to my work after school. I decided not to go directly into the practice of law, and I worked for a small accounting firm in downtown Detroit and did a lot of research for them because we were doing bond fund accounting, and I enjoyed it, and I applied things I had learned in school directly to that job. And when I decided to hang out, I practice in a reverse order, as most people did. I hung my own shingle out, then worked for a small firm, then worked for a large firm, and now am in-house at a large multinational corporation. But when I first hung my shingle out, I was taking guardian ad litem work. I was doing minor litigation matters. And within weeks, I had my first small matter of litigation. And I'll never forget the opposing counsel who walked into the hearing, and I handed him his trial book, tabulated, organized as I had learned in school. And he looked at me and said, "You are way too organized." And I ended up winning that matter, and I was very satisfied, and it was a thrill to apply immediately. And at that time, I had no mentors. Apply directly what I learned in school to a, albeit small matter in a district court, but it was rewarding, and again, helped me in my confidence that I could succeed as an attorney. And after those early years, I continued to build on the skills that I had learned. My trial practice skills increased. What I learned in trial advocacy and negotiation classes really helped. And another matter that really applied what I learned in school in my early practice years was the trial advocacy and motion practice skills that I had learned, which included a lot of civil procedure instruction, of course, as we all took Civ Pro 1 and 2. I had the opportunity to represent some clients who had a real estate matter go south, and they hired me to try to iron out the deal, and it ended up in litigation where we had to file a suit against the sellers of the property. Well, the sellers hired a very famous University of Detroit professor, Professor Keenan, who is a wonderful man and a very well-respected civil procedure teacher. Well, I'm a 1-2 year grad and having to go up against someone who is allegedly a wonderful expert in these areas, and ended up winning the case. So as my career progressed, I started working for larger firms and ended up working for a regional firm based out of Pittsburgh called Debkin, Keevakin, and Weiss, and did everything from commercial litigation to M&A work. So I had a wide variety of experience, which again, Cooley helped prepare me for. So from my very early career all the way to the end where I was in a large corporate department, I had a wealth of experience which allowed me to come work for a large corporation and apply the breadth of knowledge that I had gained through my career. So 14 years ago, I joined this company, Arthrex. My brother is the founder of this company, and it started with nothing. And as he started to grow, he kept calling me and informed me he needed some counsel because things were growing at a tremendous pace. So when I joined back in 2002, we had under 100 employees. We now have 4,800 worldwide, 2,800 here in Southwest Florida. So when I joined, it was a blank slate. It was a legal blank slate, and I was really honored to have the opportunity to come in and apply what I had learned to help foster and prepare this company for growth. And as an attorney and continuing with what my internal beliefs were, it allowed me to be of service to the company and to the mission. You know, we are a very unique organization. Our mission is helping surgeons treat their patients better. We make medical devices for orthopedics, and we are the largest sports medicine medical device manufacturer in the world. We are committed to doing things in a way that public companies simply don't. We are on a medical mission and not on a shareholder value mission, and it's seen in everything we do. So having the ability to come in and apply my skills and expend the company's money to legally develop a framework for ethical and legal systems that are responsive to the needs of that mission was a challenge. When I came aboard, we had no contracts with our distributors. We had no FDA counsel. We had no compliance program for a variety of reasons. So I had to apply a whole range of experience to begin to build a foundation to make a legally sound company. So that open canvas has been a continual painting, and to this day I'm still assisting in the growth in our worldwide expansion. So it has been a tremendous experience, and I continue to be privileged to work with some of the best lawyers in the country and the world, and continue to learn. And that's one very important thing, is to always be open to learning new methods and new ways, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. My practice has reflected sort of my personality to a degree. I've had a wide variety of experience and never was typecast into one role of M&A work or what have you. In fact, one of the reasons I've enjoyed being here is being able to sit with a design team of engineers and help develop solutions to medical problems. I'm an inventor on several patents, have several patents in prosecution right now, and that diversity allows me to explore new areas and challenge myself and others. A lawyer's mind is always a critical point in certain problem-solving groups. So never underestimate your ability to enter a business discussion, a mechanical discussion, a failure or risk mode discussion, because we think a little differently because of our training and experience, and we're able to solve problems and critically look at things in a way that others aren't. So I've applied that to all the things I do. Let me go into a little story that might be insightful about how I found the right way to apply my education. I was at a charity event many years ago while I was just beginning to practice law, and there was a known lawyer at the table, an attorney in Detroit who had been very successful. He'd done extremely well for himself. He was the benefactor for the table. And I asked him, I said, I'm just starting out, any words of advice for me? And his advice was to find a corporation and be able to obtain stock options. And I sat back and I heard him talk about it, and I said, that is absolutely not what I want to do. My goals have nothing to do with finance, nothing to do with the absolute outcome of your passion. Your passion should drive your pursuits, and that's why I fit so well with our company. Throughout our careers as lawyers, we encounter numerous individuals, including our managing partners and people who oversee us, who are not easy to get along with, who are very frightful, let's put it simply. One of the experience from Cooley that really struck me and left me with an ability to overcome that type of individual was civil procedure class with Professor Needham. It was a wonderful experience, and he had a wealth of knowledge, but it was a frightful experience. And to get through his class, where half the class failed, and get the highest grade in the class, it was an accomplishment that I never expected I would obtain, and really gave me confidence to deal with difficult partners and difficult clients in the future.